Our affirmation this morning is, I choose love, joy, and freedom. Open my heart and allow wonderful things to flow into me. This week, I'm going to mix things up a little bit. We're going to start with our question of the week. Am I projecting the teachings in every circumstance and every situation? I wanted to relay a story. It's interesting. Years and years ago, probably a good 5 or 6 years before I came to even begin to start coming into Angelus Fellowship and understand about New Thought, a friend of mine had told me a little tale, probably what we would call a parable. And it was interesting because, like I say, that was long before I even started to have any notion about New Thought. And this little parable so profoundly changed the way that I thought about life. And I thought that that was so fascinating that I would eventually come to learn it and become a truth student in New Thought. This parable goes that one day there are two gentlemen going up an elevator, and they're in possibly a hotel, and the elevator stops at a floor, and a woman gets on, and the way she's dressed, it's obvious that she's a lady of the night, a prostitute. And so the doors close, and one of the gentlemen removes his hat, and the elevator goes up a few floors, and the doors open, and the lady gets off. And when the doors close and the elevator continues, the fellow who didn't take his hat off said to the other one, "Why did you take your hat off? She's just a prostitute." And his reply was, "I took my hat off because of who I am, not because of who she is." And I think that that's a very profound thing for us to know and to hold on to as we go through our daily circumstances and situations, to always be the person that we know we should be, to always project the teachings in every circumstance, in every situation. Just last week, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was raised Catholic. Of course, in our faith, we don't admonish or dismiss any faith. And personally, I'm delighted to know that anybody is involved in any faith, because I think that's very important. And if it's important to you, it gives you great comfort. So, as much as we'd love to see our chairs all filled and people, brimming out the doors, if anybody goes anywhere that they have faith, that's a wonderful thing. But his question to me, because he's familiar with the teachings, because we've had talks and he understands a good deal about the New Thought, is, you're not always the same. You're not like this in every situation. And he explained, like, when I go see my elderly aunt, I'm one person. When I'm at work, I'm another person. When I'm with my friends, I'm another person. And I said, why? Why would you be? Why wouldn't you be the same person in every situation? And, these are the terms that we use here. I think I use this probably at least 20 times a week. In every circumstance, in every situation, we should be the same, always the same. Of course, I can understand, when you're friends, you're possibly talking about the basketball game. You may not be talking about that with your elderly aunt. You're going to talk about different things, but you're going to approach it. You're going to be the same in every circumstance, in every situation, ideally. But I think that we know people who are, one way in one circumstance and another way in another circumstance. And so the point today is that we should be projecting the teachings in every circumstance, in every situation. When you visit your elderly aunt, or when you're with your friends, or when you're at work, or when you're out at the supermarket, and even more challenging, when you're on the congested road and somebody's cutting you off, or when you're at the shopping mall and somebody snakes that parking space in front of you, rather than opening the door and shaking your fist and shouting profanities, be the same person that you would be right here as you sit here on Sunday morning and learn the lessons and learn the teachings. Be yourself. Be who you are. Take your hat off regardless of who is crossing your path. When we do things, when we reach out to help other people, it's actually the most help we can give ourselves, because it makes us feel good. We get lifted up by lifting other people's up. As our responsive reading says, the light that we hold to guide aright another's footsteps grows stronger and gives us greater vision. We get greater vision by being this uplifting, outgoing, helpful person. So the next time you're in a situation, somebody cuts in front of you at the supermarket, or you're at work and a coworker is not being very kind to you, we'll use those words. Remember the person that you want to be. Remember, when I was sitting in church Sunday, I had this warm, kind feeling because I was being taught about the teachings of Christ. So remember to be that person, reflect those same emotions, that same feeling, project that same goodwill in every circumstance, in every situation, so that as you go through life, you do choose love, joy, freedom. You do open your heart and allow all these wonderful things to flow into your life, because there's no bitterness. There's no room for bitterness or anger or hatred or, unfortunately in life as humans, we do hang on to sometimes these petty little things, and they tend to eat us up, and so we can lash back about, the coworker who took the last cup of coffee and didn't refill the pot, or, like I said, the shopper who jumps in front of you, or the shopper in the express lane with 20 items instead of 10. All these little things that people sometimes will say make rude, evil remarks, and you get this whole bad chemistry and this negativity flowing. Let it stop with you. Be your authentic self in every circumstance and every situation. Because the good news is that we choose love, joy, and freedom. And we choose to open our heart and allow wonderful, wonderful things to flow in our lives when we are our authentic, Christ-like selves in every circumstance and every situation. So remember that as you're going through the week, and you ask yourself, am I projecting the teachings in every circumstance and every situation? And if you find that you aren't, just remember that you want to be the person who does choose love, joy, freedom. You want to allow nothing but the wonderful things into your life. And the way to do that is to exhibit these Christ-like teachings in every circumstance and every situation.